What's up, guys? I hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. Um, I know the video quality is not up to par. I'm still having to go through some roundabout ways to get these out. I still haven't gotten everything installed back on my desktop PC to do these videos smoothly. Um, but I have enough going here where I can show a couple things off. Um, so I'm going to go in Input Mapper here, and we're going to take a look at the macros. The macros are done, or at least the framework is. All I need to add now are the like the different features or functions of it. I want to add more triggers. I want to have more macro commands. So these, I just had a few in here to use for testing, but now that the framework is all set and working, it's time to start, filling those out and adding more in there. So what we're going to do here is we got a new macro here. I'm going to name this. And let's see, we're going to do a channel condition. And I got my DualShock 4 here plugged in via the USB dongle. So we're going to select that guy. Face button 1 equals true. Hit OK, add that in there. You see it pops up. Now when I hit my face button 1, you see that triggers both that trigger and the macro. Since it's the only trigger in there, hitting that button is enough to trigger the entire macro. Let's go ahead and add another one in there. We'll add the channel condition. This time we'll use a stick. And we'll use left X. And we're going to say greater than 0.6. And now we can demonstrate how you can create macros. Before, it used to just be true false values, which means you can only map it to buttons. But now you can create conditions for the stick. And here you go. You see, as I move the x-axis of the stick, I can set that condition to true or false. But you see now the macro doesn't trigger because any one of these triggers by themselves isn't enough to trigger the macro. You need both of them together. Because that's what having multiple triggers means. And I just added the device conditions, and this is different than channel conditions in that it's specific to some of the features of the controller that you're selecting. So in the case of the DualShock 4, I have options like the light bar, the connection type, battery level, battery state, so on and so forth. Meaning that you can create your own macros to do your own kind of warnings or pop-ups or sounds or notifications or whatever you want. You can create them yourself for the different battery levels you want, because you can just add battery level less than 0.1, which is 10%. Add that in there. Right now I have a full charge, so it shows 1. So that's always going to be false. 1 is not less than 0.1. So, and I just realized I don't have a way to delete triggers yet. So now that that's in there, I don't have a way to delete a macro yet either. Those are simple things. So I'm just going to have to create a new macro for the rest of this demonstration now that I flubbed that one up by creating a trigger that's always going to be false until we wait for this battery to die. But okay, for the regular demonstration, I'm going to go ahead and recreate what I had already done. I'm going to add these in. We're going to add that stick in again. Okay. So there we go. And you see the second macro triggers, but the first one won't because of that battery condition that I added in, which isn't going to be true until the battery in this gets close to dead. So, but we can keep working with this new macro. So we're going to go over here to macro commands. I'm missing a couple icons for these menu options that used to be there, but that's a simple fix. I'll get around to doing that. Let's record a new macro here. Alright, and I just recorded me typing a bunch of stuff in there. You can see I have all the pauses in there, and that's because in the record settings I do have the record pauses checked, and I have record presses and releases separately checked. So it's going to record the actual act of me typing it out rather than just the keys and pop them all on there at once. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a notepad and clear that guy out. And let's see, we have this macro. I'm going to go over the triggers window just so we can watch it there. And now, as I said, any one of these conditions is not enough to trigger the macro. We need both of them together. So I'm going to go ahead and do my X-axis stick there and then hit the face button. And you see it trigger the macro, and it's typing that out. And there you go. Do it again. And I'm going to be adding different triggering options where you can have it. Right now it just does it once. So if I were to hold it, it's going to get to the end of that macro and then quit out. But I'm also going to add a checkbox where you can create it so it loops. So I mean, there'll be different, bunch of different settings and all that stuff. Now that the system actually works, adding settings and functionality and stuff like that in is actually a pretty simple task. It's just a matter of thinking what I think is, good settings and all that, or good features. So that's about it, guys. Sorry again for, like I said, the quality of this check-in isn't up to what it usually is. I'll get this rest of the software and all that stuff onto this PC soon, so I can start pumping them out like I used to. Holidays just kind of sucked a lot of time and stuff out of my plans. So that's it for this week. I'll check in with you guys in a bit, and like I said, I'll post up on the forums, and I'll post a message in the news feed when I release this, which looks like it still should be this week because, like I said, the macros, getting them to work, that was the hardest thing. Now it's just adding functionality to it. So, all right, guys, have a good one.